Welcome back to the Psychological Paradigm Shift podcast. I'm Ed Rieger, your host. I hope you found last week's episode informational and helpful. Always remember, I am only providing my personal opinions based on my experiences and education on psychological topics. We will be talking about mental illness in a very blunt, transparent manner. The topics may be disturbing to some, and it will never be my intent to hurt anyone, only to share my ideas and thoughts. Let's get started. The goal of the dating questions will be to assist you in deciphering the thinking and actions of your potential romantic partner or potential spouse. I have created the questions to span a lifetime from 16 to 80. Because as people age, their lives get more complex, and so does the mental illness they have. I designed the questions to be a filtering tool, a dating guide, to help you determine how severe the psychological issues may be in your potential romantic partner. Are they mild, severe, extremely severe? I've broken down the dating questions into 27 categories. We will cover each category each week and the dating questions behind it. I think this will help you keep yourself organized and on track as you begin the questioning process of your communications with romantic partners. If you do not suffer from psychological issues, these questions will empower you with the knowledge you'll need to possibly stop you from making a life-altering decision that can change the course of your life. And if you do have psychological issues, these questions may begin to educate and empower you to begin the healing process. I have structured the questions to give you a foundation for communicating with your potential partner in a very direct and transparent manner. Remember, lack of communication is one of the most important reasons people get divorced. Maybe these questions will help change that fact. If you have read How Not to Date or Marry the Mentally Ill, and I'm on YouTube, I'm pointing to the book, these questions are going to make perfect sense to you. If you haven't read the book, these are going to be brand new, and so hopefully they'll be helpful to you. If the person you're serious about dating and possibly creating a relationship with has not read the book, you may want to suggest they read it before you become serious, so they're not at a disadvantage in their ability to communicate and understand the information you'll be questioning them about. I believe these questions may become part of the 21st century of dating. The questions will make a world of difference if you are communicating with a fog lifter or a chaos chaser. I think a fog lifter will be very open and ready to take part with this kind of critical honesty to create a substantial dialogue and relationship with you. A fog lifter, because of their therapy or self-education, may be way ahead of you. A chaos chaser might shut down completely and walk away. They cannot address or acknowledge the abuses they have experienced or the abuses they have perpetrated on others in their lifetime. This will give you the opportunity to just walk away from them and save yourself the potential damage they may cause to you and those you care about and love. These questions are going to be tough and unpleasant to some folks. And they may open wounds that you thought you had personally put away in a dark closet of your mind. The first category we're going to cover is family history. As we go through the questions, I will give you background to try and understand why we want to ask the questions. Some questions I'll just go through, but others I'll give you personal information about myself to help you understand why I wrote the questions the way I did, and the knowledge and experience that go behind it. Okay, let's get started. We're going to cover family history. The history of people who suffer from psychological disorders and the family dynamics may be the biggest red flag for you while you're dating. Who are their families? What are they all about? The history of their family will be abuse, neglect, sexual assault, abandonment, and chaos. The family secrets that are taboo to talk about are the giant red flags you are trying to break through. You must know how severe are these secrets, how long have they been hiding themselves from each other and the world, and possibly to you. What will you see very clearly is a disconnection from one another, especially as they age out and become adults. So let's start with the questions. Number one, did you grow up in a two-parent family or single-parent family? Today, over 30% of children are being raised by a single parent. This is a really big issue when you think about family stability, being a latchkey kid, and the vulnerabilities that come from all of that. This also shows that their parents may struggle with sustaining long-term relationships. How many siblings do you have? Any step-siblings? How many? You want to uncover the multiple possibilities of blended family members who may suffer from psychological disorders that will open up many complications for you. Did your parents live in the same house as you grew up in, or did they move a lot? This can help you see the stability of their family and how their parents may have struggled with employment, divorces, or separations. Did you know your grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins? This is a very important question. Families who suffer from psychological issues will disintegrate over time. I never met any of my grandparents. Didn't even know their names. Most of my uncles, aunts, hardly any cousins. I have no relationships with any extended family at all. Is your family close? They may struggle with this question quite a bit. Does your family have reunions? I can almost guarantee they have never really had a large family reunion. When is the last time you had a reunion? They will usually say never. How many people showed up? They can't give an answer to what they don't know. Do you socialize currently with your parents? I believe some of these questions are giant red flags. This is one of them. Don't be surprised when this answer has been years ago. When was the last time you did? Depending on their age, it may be decades. What did you do? They will struggle desperately with this question, especially if there's been a large time gap. Now, this is a really big one, too. Do you socialize with your siblings? Giant red flag. They usually never socialize with their siblings. They can't. For a lot of different reasons, and we'll go through them as we go through all the categories. If those siblings sexually, physically, or psychologically abuse them, then they want nothing to do with them. When is the last time you did socialize? Again, depending on age, could be decades. What did you do together? They most likely will not remember. Sibling relationships in families who have psychological issues are a really clear picture of how disconnected they are as a family. So these questions can be very, very important to you. Have you ever been excluded from a family social activity? This may be because of hurt feelings between siblings, because of past abuses, or other issues. But you need to know. Why? This is going to be one of those questions that may make a chaos chaser walk away immediately. Has a situation ever been resolved with your family? How can you resolve psychological issues between family members, especially if they refuse to acknowledge what they may have done to one another? And if they're not focusing on healing themselves, then how are they going to heal as a family? Are you excluded from the family social activities? Is this family still disassociating from them? Why? Have you been excluded as a family member or a family social event? You need to know who in the family may be considered the black sheep. Why? How many times have your parents been divorced? My mother had multiple divorces and long-term relationships that never worked out. Every time I turned around, I had a new guy trying to be my papa. How many stepbrothers and sisters do you have? The more they have, the more possibilities of abuse that they may have been exposed to. How many step parents do you have? Again, the more they've had multiplies their potential for being abused. Do you ever socialize with them? I have never socialized with any step parents or step siblings ever. When was the last time you socialized with them? Again, this answer may be decades. What kinds of things do you do with them? They probably can't answer that question. At what age was your parents when they had their first child? If they had children young, maybe in their teens or early 20s, then this may show a history of coming from generational chaos chasers. Poor planning, impulsive behavior, and self-defeating behavior. Were they married or unmarried at the time? Again, this will show a lack of planning or self-defeating behavior on their parents' part. Do you have any family memorabilia, like photos? They may have some photos of their young childhood. Most likely, they do not have many photos or happy events like birthday parties, vacations, and such. What's their favorite picture? They most likely won't have any favorite because they never really took happy photos with the family. Did your family or do they ever take professional family photos of everyone together? This is a really important question. This would mean their parents would have to organize all the children together into a family photo. Given the abuses, most siblings would not like to be involved in this kind of event with the parents or other siblings, and forget step families. Does your family do genealogy? They're probably not interested into trying and find out what grandparents and extended families they've never had relationships with or any shared history. It's not something that they would ever focus on. Do they share the genealogy with each other? They may have family members who try and follow information, but most likely they personally are not interested. What's your favorite piece of history from your family? Since all family connections and history has been destroyed over the generations, they may not be able to give you one story. Is anyone in your family left out of the genealogy information? If they have done any research, they may just avoid sharing this information with each other and other family members. They do not have connections with any of their siblings when it comes to this kind of information. And why isn't genealogy information shared with them? They may not be able to give you a clear answer, depending on the history of their family members and what's going on inside the family. Are they involved in collecting any genealogy information? Probably not. Why not? Because they have made or are beginning to process disassociating from family members. And this kind of participation is not what they are focused on or interested in. On the next podcast, we'll continue discussing the 27 categories or questions. Thank you for sharing time with me tonight. I hope this information was helpful to you as we progress through our psychological paradigm shift. Remember, you can go to the website, psychologicalparadigmshift.com. I will post updates when I have them, and you can sign up to receive future information. You can give me feedback on the podcast or questions that you might have, and I'll try to address them as we go along. I look forward to next week's episode. Take care of yourself.